Any day now. There we are. There we go. Jerry, we good? Sound check. Okay. Welcome everybody to the 53rd episode of the Swift and SwiftUI Learnalong. I am your host, me. And as you can see on the stream, or on the screen rather, well, on the stream too, this is what we got cracking. So I'll try to speed through this for the uninitiated. This is just a quick intro on what one might expect when watching the stream. How do I get, there's a neat little, there it is right there. Okay, so first we spent about 45 episodes learning the language itself, right? So if you want to get caught up, roughly the first 45, 46 episodes of this stream, which are, you can definitely find it on the YouTube channel. So if you want to get caught up and want to make sure that everything is there, you can go to this YouTube channel here for all of the old streams, and that's where we covered the general purpose programming language that is Swift. So we went through, it was a pretty beefy book. It was a Big Nerd Ranch Guide. It was really insightful, really enjoyed it. So go check that out if you want to get caught up. Right now, what we're doing, hold on, let me, I should do like a rewatch on. Okay, so that's for that. And now we've moved on to this learning SwiftUI. So we're working through a book that is teaching us that. We probably have, I don't know, this is a 600 pages. So if it's anything like the last one, maybe we're looking at 2 more weeks of SwiftUI, working through these examples, but that should get us to a point where we have enough knowledge, generally speaking, to start doing some damage and building the app itself. So after we do that, then we're going to, I don't know about learn, we're going to build web API and SQLite, that should be SQLite, schema design for the actual application that we're going to build on the stream. And then after that, we're just going to alternate between learning C, so it'll be a C learn along, and also just live programming for my company's first product. So that'll be MRP Panda. That's going to be the app that we build. So that's the general layout. And in terms of the learn along itself, you're not watching somebody that's trying to necessarily teach you what I know. You're watching somebody learn these things in real time. So it's a bit different, and you're not learning from me, you're learning with me, in the sense that the things that I'm reading, depending on what platform that you're watching on, you may or may not be able to see the actual literature, but it doesn't really matter. You don't necessarily need to. But I am reading through a course and just doing the code samples on stream, and that's basically it. So if that's cool with you, then stick around. If not, move on, brother. But that is the lay of the land. And I got started late today, more than usual. I am dragging ass today. I don't know why. But anyway, let's get to, where was I? Where's my project? Oh. Normally it's nice enough to show me my recently open projects. But we're on chapter 4 now. Non-responsive apps. Sweet. Yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really regret getting the 16 gig MacBook Pro. It really has nothing to do with Xcode crashing for some reason, just randomly, but it could. So I'm going to take an opportunity to just, jab at Xcode again. Now, I don't know why I did that, but Now every problem that I have on the Mac, I just assume it's because of my regretful decision. There we go. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was, but there it is right there. My regretful decision to not spend the money and just get the 32. I had a 32 before, and then I bought into the bullshit. Yeah, oh, 16 gigs of RAM is it's like 32 on a Windows machine. 16 gigs of RAM is like 16 gigs of RAM. And now I live with my choice every single day. But I will find a way to get by. We're going to continue on. Okay, so now we're back. Let me make sure this goes, and then we can get it popping. Okay. By the way, if you've been to a vitamin store lately, where's the camera? Yeah. Well, you can't really see. But these are called Rise, R-Y-S-E. It's an energy drink. But if you remember this Country Time lemonade, it's probably hard to see, but if you know, you know. I used to see the Country Time lemonade and like 7-Elevens and other gas stations. You don't really see them anymore, at least I don't, but now they've apparently moved to energy drinks. So I saw this yesterday and I just had to try it out. They're pretty good. I mean, it tastes just like the lemonade, except it's carbonated now. And it is very strong. I feel like a crackhead, but oddly can't stop drinking it either. Ugh. Ew. Okay. All right, so yesterday we just continued on with the video player. Why isn't my video showing there, guy? Let's see. Maybe I need to build it. Command B. Rating view. Let's go back. But anyhow, we built the first initial view and we broke out our exercise view into this data model here, exercise.swift. This is effectively our sample data that we can use. Let me see if it's this was pulling in the videos. These are our videos here that came with the project. Anyway, maybe we'll just move on. It should be working. It was working yesterday. But nonetheless, the life of maintaining projects, even in a tutorial sense, I guess. All right, so let's get started with chapter 4. Prototyping supplementary views. Your app still needs 3 more full screen views. Welcome, history, and success. In the previous chapter, you laid out the exercise view and created an exercise structure. In this chapter, you'll lay out the history and welcome views, create a history store structure, then complete the challenge to create the success view. Okay, and your app's prototype will be complete. All right, sweet. Laying out the history view. Skills you'll learn in this section. Working with dates, extending a type, quick help comments, creating forms, looping over a collection. Okay, good. So this is, yeah, creating forms. I guess looping too, but we kind of covered that, but this will be good. All right, so you'll start with a mock-up of the list view. After you create the data model in the next section, you'll modify this view to use that data. If you completed the challenge in the previous chapter, continue with your project, or open the project in this chapter's starter folder. Or I think I will do that because the fact that it's not working gives me pause. And the only thing is I don't necessarily. Wow. Nah, let's just do that. Yeah, we'll just do it. I'm gonna do it. Let me just do that real quick. Close project. And open. Chapter 4. Projects. Starter. Could not open. Come on, brother. All right. Open again. Forgot you got to open the... I'm used to opening the directory in the editor, but that is not how... It's not how they do it. You got to open the... Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just the directory that has the Xcode project. Let me try that. Okay, I guess that was the issue. Okay, so all the views are here. Yeah, okay, cool. Cannot preview this file. Active scheme does not. Change this to... We were using the iPad mini. 6th. Great iPad, by the way. The one that came out, I think now. When did that come out? 2021? Great little iPad. Can you fix it now? No? What's the problem? Maybe we just gotta build it. This part is really... But honestly, I mean, this has been the case with any IDE, so I can't sit here and act like everything's smooth sailing, with the exception of Apple stuff. But yeah, the more it can do, the more complex and more pain in the ass it is to only remove background. Bro, what? Does not build this file. Because I don't have... No, I have preview provider. Yeah, I don't know why they do this to me. Video player. How about this? This should have... No. God damn it. Sweet troubleshooting straight out of the gate. So maybe... Let me try a different one. Just do iPhone 15. Killing me, Smalls. Freaking killing me. So we'll just do what we did last time. You see what I mean, though? Hey, come on now. Okay. Don't ask me. No idea. Absolutely no idea. But anyway, now we're back to a point where at least... Well, actually, this one... Make sure this one's working, actually. Okay, good. So this is where we left off yesterday in terms of the code that we had actually mimicked and expected. So we got the header built. Well, let me do the selection view. So we got the the header built there. We still have our page numbers that are going to eventually make a bit more sense. We built this timer. That's not fully complete. We added these 5 horizontal SF images here, and eventually we'll have, this will be a rating system, so it's supposed to be, from on a scale of 1 to 5, how much did the person exert themselves via some algorithm we've yet to create, but that's what that is. And of course a button for start and done. And then of course you saw the video, which it's not playing now, but I assume that's because I'm in selection mode. If I go to live preview mode, then we get the video. So maybe that was my problem earlier. I don't think so though, because it wasn't even building, but okay. So that's where we were. And now let's see. So in the views group, views, yeah, create a new SwiftUI file named historyview.swift. Okay. SwiftUI view file in here. History view. It's in the target group, so that's what we want. Okay. And get rid of the unreasonably large amount of pretext that comes in every file. Just put it in the README, for the love of God. All right, let's see. For this mockup, add some sample history data to the history view above body. Okay, so that's above the body. Let today, so we have a constant that is equal to date, which is built into SwiftUI. And what is it? This was a struct. Is it a struct or a class? A struct, yeah, okay. So that's a type, or that's rather an instance of a date. So we're saying today is equal to an instance of the date type. And let yesterday, so another constant, same thing, instance of date with this method. So adding time interval. And here's our argument. 86,400. So I suppose there's an assumption being made that the integer that you pass to that method, adding time interval, is in seconds. That's likely obvious, but just so it's said. All right, and then we got two more. So exercise 1 is equal to an array, and exercise 2 is also equal to an array of strings. Squat and step up, burpee, what a name, huh? And sun salute. Okay. Exercise 2, squat, step up. Oh, I didn't capitalize that. And burpee again. Okay. You'll display exercises completed over 2 days. Over 2 days. Over 2 days. Replace the hello world with this code. All right. So we want to get rid of this, and we want a VStack to wrap this text view history. And we want to add these modifiers. So font, we want title font with the default padding. Exercise history. Okay, you've created the title for this view with some padding around it. Creating a form. SwiftUI has a container view that automatically formats its contents to look organized. Inside the VStack, replace exercise history with this code. Okay, sweet. So form, yet another view. Or view type, section. We haven't seen this one yet. Goddamn sticky fingers, okay. Section. That's not what I wanted to do. Section, oh. header. I'm trying to copy their formatting, but it's kind of odd. Okay, header. Text today dot formatted as MMMD. Oh, like, okay, so like Jan, Jan, and then the number day it is, whatever day it is, calendar day. Okay, and we want a modifier on this text font. So font here, why is it ginormous like that? Don't know. Font. Headline, headling, headline. And this is another placeholder, section content, okay. Expected what? Insert. Generic parameter content could not be inferred. Explicitly specify the generic arguments to fix. Why did that happen? Okay, we'll just take what they have. I don't know what I did wrong. VStack. And then exercise history. Well, that didn't, okay, so I guess I probably missed a closing bracket or something. Okay, so here's what we got. Let's see. So a header and just June 13th, June 12th. How many, maybe that's what that is saying, but how many days, weeks, years translate to 86,400 seconds. One day. Oh, okay. So that's, I guess that's why. Or that's what the negative is for. Looking back 24 hours, I assume, since that's today's date and this is June 12th and that's a negative number. Well, and the bucket's called literally yesterday. That might help too. Okay. All right, so now what? Inside the form container view, you create two sections. Each section has a header with the date using headline font size. Oh, right. Okay. So section, here's the header, text today formatted as, that's where we get JUN13, headline font. Okay. Then another section, header yesterday. Makes sense. Okay. This code takes yesterday and today's date as the section header, so your view will have different dates from the one below. Extending the date type. When you created the timer view, you had a quick look at the Swift date type and used one of its methods. It's now time to learn a little bit more about it. I have to run to the men's room real quick. Not a long one, so I'll be right back. Right back. Oh, Dibbilibba ding dong. Okay. God damn. Water fights back. Okay. Extending the date type. When you created the time review, you had a quick look at... Oh, yeah, we read that. Okay. Swift tip. A date object is just some number of seconds relative to January 1. You know what? Let me save these because I was trying to get our notes together that I've been keeping and kind of didn't like the experience on the platform. So this is really not of any consequence to anybody. I'm just talking out loud here, installing while I get this clipped and slapped into... that's better. Okay. So Swift tip, a date object is just some number of seconds relative to January 1st, 2001 at midnight, UTC, Universal something, Universal Time Clock. Means something like that. I just know it's like 7 hours ahead of Central Time, I think, because I would always run into issues like this where some of our sub clients would set up SQL servers and it defaults to this UTC time zone for SQL server. But the applications themselves, like the ERP applications that read their data from the SQL server, are using system timestamps. So they're sending system timestamps in some places. Other logs are using UTC. It's a fucking mess. So whenever you get to a point where you need to reconcile some things, it's a nightmare. But that's the only reason I know what that is. So yeah, did I see that here? Oh, but one neat thing is I did learn a couple of cool... I mean, I'm sure lots of languages have this, but in Go, there's some cool libraries to effectively do the conversion for you if you know the starting point. But whatever, it's neither here nor there at this point. To display it as a calendar date in a particular time zone, you must use a date formatter. This class has a few built-in styles named short, medium, long, and full, described in links from the developer docs page for dateformatter.style. You can also specify your own format as a string. Okay, which we did. All right, open date extension.swift. Get out of the way there, guy. Date extension.swift. Okay. Get rid of this. It's ridiculous. Okay, date formatter. Oh, wait, skip that part. The first method shows how to use a date formatter. All right, let me punch in here. How to use a date formatter. Format a date using the specified format and the parameters. So format is the only parameter. And it is a date pattern string like... Okay, so that's what we did earlier. But here's the function itself. Formatted as format. So external parameter name internal parameter name and the type that it'll take. Arrow syntax indicates the return type of the function, so that's a string. So we want this to return a string, which is obvious because this is using a explicit return, and we see that it is obviously getting stringified right here. Okay, so that makes good sense. So we're saying this function creates a constant date formatter that's equal to an instance of date formatter, and date formatter dot date format is equal to the format that we pass in here as the argument, and then we just return date formatter. We stringify it from self, so self-referencing meaning the object itself. Okay. Okay, now that makes sense. No questions. No further questions. Var year month day. So here's a mutable variable year month day of type string with a computed property. So same thing, instance of date formatter. And then we call this method date format is equal to desired format. And then we return that string. Okay. Check another date is the same year, month, and day. Check another date is the same year, month, and day. Same day. So you pass it a date type, it returns true, false. And we return year, month, day. Is it equal to day, year, month, day? Oh, so you pass it a date and it refers to the current day? Is the same year, month, and day? Yeah, I mean, it must be what it is, unless... Oh, no, wait, we give it day. Okay. So year, month, and day is same as... Oh, because we could call this on another type. Okay. Okay. All right. And then day name string. I don't know what that is, but return a string here for the day name. E. What is that? What is... Oh, okay. I just never seen that before, but that makes sense. So that is used to represent the full name of the day of the week. All right. So date formatter has only the default empty initializer. You create an instance, then configure it by setting the properties you care about. This method uses its format argument to set the date format property. In history view, you pass mmmd as format. This specifies 3 characters for this month, for the month. So you get sep or oct, and 1 character for the day, so you get a number. If the number is a single digit, that is what you see. If you specify mmdd, you get numbers for both month and day, with the leading 0 if the number is single for the day, So if it's the 9th, you get 09, Once you configure date formatter, its string from method returns the date string. You don't have to worry about time zones if you simply want the user's current time zone. That is the default setting. Okay, good. Formatting quick help comments. Extending the date class with formatted as makes it easy to get a date in the format you want. Today.formatted as, which, where do we see that? Well, nowhere here. Oh, it's probably in the other file. Doesn't matter. All right, today dot formatted as Swift tip. You can add methods to extend any type, including those built into the SDK, like image and date. Then you can use them the same way you use built-in methods. Yeah. I'm gonna try to make it a habit of just grabbing these because oftentimes I'll read them and I think, yeah, I know that. But then later on, I'm struggling to remember what that great tip was. So, Xcode, okay. Quick formatting, read that. Look at the comment above the formatted as method. Okay, so this thing. Okay. This is a special kind of comment. It appears in Xcode's quick help when you option click the method name. Oh, that's right, because of the triple ticks we learned. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because this is how we can write markdown. So this is like formatted. So these dashes will equate to bullet points. So if we, is it control? Is it control? Yeah. And show quick help. Maybe it's a little different because I'm almost certain. If you ever need a good markdown editor in a pinch, this is great, by the way. So Dillinger.io, it's free. You can self-host it too, but I mean, the site is good enough. But I thought if I do a dash, yeah, it's a bullet point. Yeah, just so you know, I mean, Markdown's super simple. So if you don't know it, you should learn it. But it's super easy. Like one hash, header 2. So it's easy to nest things, create documents. The dash is the bullet point. You can do, oops. With triple ticks, you can do code blocks. You can name code block and then end it with another triple back tick. You put the language on the first line at the end, and then it'll give you syntax highlighting. Well, this one doesn't, but most will. Like even if I put this into bare notes from a table. I guess it kind of is, maybe. Where does it? No, okay. Or no, it is, yeah. Because the keywords are green, so. Yeah, where F equals 3. Yeah, it is. It's just a weird color. Yeah, so I guess it's a little different when you're writing it inside of, what's another one? Tree, to have that cool little word effect. That's how they're doing it whenever they show us what code, or when they're referring to code in the context of a normal sentence. But anyway, you can do tables too. You can do, it's not all that complicated, but good skill to learn. Dillinger.io. Go ahead, write it down. All right. So we'll deal with that. I mean, whatever the case may be, that it's just different, just a little different with these. But either way, you can put notes in here. It'll show up in the quick help. Okay, good to know. All right, what else here? It looks just like all the built-in method summaries. It is good practice to document all the methods you write this way. See Apple's formatting quick help documentation for more details. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Looping over a collection. Now head back to historyview.swift. History view. To fill in the section content. To display the completed exercises for each day, you'll use for each to loop over the elements of exercises 1 and 2. So to loop over our data here, we'll use a for each. Okay, in the first section, so this guy here. And we'll replace that. So for each exercises, I wonder if that's a typo, because that must be a typo. That doesn't exist. But that does. We'll do that. ID self. Okay, so we're making... Wait, what is this? Is this a method? Or it's a view? Yeah. A structure that computes views on demand from an underlying collection of identified data. For each, oh, it's a generic. Okay, data ID content, where data conforms to random access collection ID. Wait. Where the data type conforms to random access collection and the ID protocol conforms to hashable. Okay. Use for each to provide views based on random access collection of some data type. Either the collection's elements must conform to identifiable, or you need to provide an ID parameter to the for each initializer. The following example creates a named font type that conforms to identifiable. Identifiable, let name font. Yeah. Okay, well, we know what it does. So this is a struct. Loops over a collection of data, returns the views for those. Let's see. So exercise 1 is the array. The ID is self-referencing, so just on the same object itself. Then we have this trailing closure syntax, exercise. In, so exercise is our iterator. So that's the value, or exercise is the bucket that will hold each individual exercise as it works its way through the list. The in keyword is just separating the argument exercise from the function body, since this is a closure. And we're just saying for each one, each workout that we pass in, render a text view for it. And it just popped up. Sweet. That's pretty cool. That's pretty. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. No, I do like that. I like when stuff just happens. That's pretty cool. But not too magically. But this is easy to follow. So all in all, I think the most difficult part of any of this stuff that we've gone through, I mean, we're only in the 4th chapter, but honestly, the most difficult part is the code wrangling. Like, there's just hella brackets and tons of methods, API calls, but it's all pre-built, you know, so you're really not, I mean, it is programming, it is coding, whatever you want to call it, but it's not, I've said it before, but it's a weird jump from the old, the first course that we went through, because the Big Nerd Ranch guide that we used to go through the Swift programming language itself focused a lot more on the lower level primitives. Now we're just using the SwiftUI framework. So everything's, you're not really writing the code itself. You're more like just putting together the right pieces. I don't know how to describe it well, but it's just different. And it can be a bit confusing, but when you take a step back and just remember to kind of look at it like a HTML page, like a web page, then it makes a lot more sense because everything's extremely declarative and in the exact order that you list it, which is nice. It's just a weird paradigm shift to hop straight from there, or to hop here straight from working with more lower level stuff. Okay, text exercise, and then what? In content view, you looped over a number range. Here you're using the third for each initializer for creating a collection from data. You're using the third for each. The third. So if we do option click on for each and we go down to the topics, I think they call it. Oh, it's not here, but if I open it in dev docs, we'll see it. So yeah, down here. So they're referring to all of these initializers that are defined under the for each type. So of course we learned any of these that get exposed in the type definition we can use. And so they're saying we're using the third one, using the third. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. How is that the third? It's the second one. Whatever. But yeah, so init. So we learned that these are, the initializers are functions, but they use pattern matching and arity in the background. So you don't rename your initializers. They're just always functions that are named init. But through the function signature, which is all this jazz here, it knows which one you're trying to call. Okay, so this one we pass data and then content of type. No, wait. We pass in data as the first argument, and then the second argument is taking a closure. So the second parameter is named content, and it takes a closure. So this is the closure here, or the function body itself, data.element. And the return type is content, which is what we, oh, I gotta close this. Which is exactly what this is. So this exercise represents data because it's an array of strings. So that's our data. And then text exercise conforms to content. So that satisfies the signature that we saw. Let's see. So if we looked at this, then where is it doesn't show it. I thought it would show somewhere that it conforms to the content protocol, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go back. And in content view, you looped over a number range. Here you're using the third for each initializer for creating a collection from data. Okay, we looked at that. Exercises 1 is the data, and it's still, why is it, where's the S? It's concerning. I copied this from, this is their project though, so yeah, and that has to be a typo in the book. And the self is the key path to each array's elements identifier. The /.self means each element of the array is its own unique identifier. Yeah. I wonder if, I'm going to ask, I'm curious if if this would enforce uniqueness. Like, would this allow for, because if each thing is its own unique identifier, can you have two of the same name, or will you get an error? And given the below. Listed twice in a given array. Oh, okay. So you could. Statement dot self is the key path to each array element's identifier. Refers to how you might access or reference individual elements within the array. Oh, okay. So it is still being indexed implicitly. Okay. So I have database brain. So I'm always thinking in terms of normalization, but this is not that. So you could, like, these could all be run, and they would all still be different at different positions in the array. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So, okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah. As the loop visits each array element, you assign it to the local variable exercise. Yeah, right here. Which you display in a text view. In the second section, replace with this code. Okay. So another for each exercise. Exercise 2. Yeah, and then same thing. Okay. Exercise in text. Exercise. All right. Which makes sense as a history because you can show what you did on those dates. Makes sense. This time you display exercises 2. Refresh the preview to admire your exercise history. Okay. Let me scroll just a hair. Give me that. Okay. Of course, history view needs to display any number of days with any collection of exercises on each day. You need a data structure that enables you to loop over a collection of days. For each day, you'll create a section where you loop over that day's exercises. Makes sense. Structuring history view data. Let me 30 seconds or 1 minute. Be right back. Adjust that light over there. Hooty hoo. Okay. Sound check, sound check. Okay, good. All right. Alas. Alas, where was I? All right. Of course, history view need know. Read that. Structuring history view data. Skills you'll learn in this section. Identifiable, mutating func, initializer, compiler directive, conditional compilation, debug, release build, config, preview content for each. Most of this stuff we've covered, but not preview content or sorry, not conditional compile, or did we? No, we did the debug thing. Yeah, so maybe not that. Okay. In this section, you'll create a data structure to store the user's activity to replace the hard-coded dates and exercise list in your mockup. All right, sweet. Creating a history store outside the views group. Okay, so just in the root of the project, I suppose. Create a new Swift file and name it historystore.swift. Wait. Oh, and group it with, okay. All right. Control N. And regular Swift file. History store. And then group it with exercise. New group. Model. Okay. Wait, so why did it? Definitely didn't ask you to do that. Yeah, move it. Exercise Swift goes into model, as does history store. Ah, shit, I wasn't supposed to do that. Damn it. Okay, hold on. I need that file back. No. I'm just going to where I know I left the link to the code. Oh no, it's in Bear. That's, yeah, okay. Yeah. Need less apps, brother, less apps. There we go. I need the hit fit. And hit fit app. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, easy enough. Okay, so now I need, wait, but you should be up here. Okay. Now in the model, history store. In historystore.swift, add the following code below import foundation. All right. So we have a struct, which is a value type. The best types. Not no reference type, Chaz. Over here, exercise day. And to say it conforms to a protocol, we just make the protocol the type. Or at least it's written the same way. With a few different implications, but nonetheless, light pink or whatever that color is you want to call it is how protocols will appear, at least with default Monokai themes. So results may vary. All right, so now we have, what are the properties? A constant, let ID equal built-in type of UUID or instance of that. Another constant, let date, no defined or predefined value. It's just of type date, and then a mutable variable exercise. And its type is an array of strings, and stored property for that is just an empty array. All right. And then another struct, history store, with a single property, exercise days of type array of exercise days. Also initializes as an empty array. Okay. An exercise day has properties for the date and a list of exercise names completed by the user on that date. Exercise day conforms to identifiable. It's up here. This protocol is useful for named types that you plan to use as elements of a collection. Okay, I feel like that's let me grab these. I feel like that's a keeper, at least for my brain. Here and wow. Okay. Exercise day conforms to identifiable. This protocol is useful for named types that you plan to use as elements of a collection because you usually want to loop over these elements or display them in a list. When you loop over a collection with for each, it must have a way to uniquely identify each of the collection's elements. The easiest way to make the elements type conform to identifiable and include ID UUID as a property. Wait. The easiest way is to make, okay, so that's what we did. So they're just saying, do this. That's the easiest way to make it conform to the identifiable protocol. Okay. As a property, UUID is a basic foundation type. And UUID is the easiest way to create a unique identifier whenever you create an exercise day instance. Okay, well, easy is good. The only property in history store is the array, which is here. And the only property in history store is the array day values you'll loop over in history view. Okay. In chapter 8, saving history data, you'll extend history store with a method to save the user's history to persistent storage and another method to load the history. Soon you'll add a history store property to history view, which will initialize it. A history store property to history view. History store property. Oh, to history view. That makes sense. Okay. To initialize it, yeah. In the meantime, you need some sample history data and an initializer to create it. Shucks. Below history store, completely outside the braces. Yeah. Add this code. So good old extension. Oops. History store. So we're extending the history store type, and we know that we can extend all the types actually. So structs, enums, classes, and protocols can all be extended to varying degrees. So not purely shared behavior, but they can all be extended in the sense that you can extend functionality to them. I think protocols were the only thing we learned that had some restriction around it. Some nice to knows, but we won't go back and dig those up because they did say it was more of an edge case. So mutating func. So what was that? I think in extensions by default, the methods, so methods just being a function nested inside of a type. So we're calling it a method here. But by default, they're immutable, meaning they don't allow you to change the value, any value that you're working with. So if you yeah, that's right. If you do want to have them be mutable, then you have to explicitly call it out. But this would not be the case if you were just writing like a global function or even or wait, maybe all functions are immutable. Yeah, maybe that's the case. In Swift are all immutable by default. Well, yeah. In Swift, functions themselves are not considered mutable or immutable in the same way that variables or data structures are. However, the behavior of a function regarding the data it operates on can be influenced by how you declare parameters and whether the function modifies external state. Yeah, so in this case, it's the latter that modifies external state. Yeah. Where is your... Well, just to be sure, is this true of... an extension. Yeah, so mutating functions. When you define a mutating function within an extension of a value type, it means the function is allowed to modify the properties of the instance it is called on. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so that would just mean that this extension, or rather the method inside, will be allowed to modify any of these well, actually just the exercises, because these are let, so these can't be changed, those are constants, but it would be allowed to... Oh wait, sorry. This one, because this is extending history store. So there's only one property, but it's a var. So since that's allowed to be changed and we're saying it's mutating, then this method will be allowed to change this array, which makes sense because it's kind of how we need to get the data there into the program. All right, so func, mutating func, not monk, although that might submit that as a new keyword. Why not, huh? That would be easier. Monk, mutating. The one that I hate, honestly, it's a silly reason, but the reason I wouldn't even look at Rust, not because of all the drama or all the complexity or the borrow checker, but The fact that they do mutt for mutable. I hate that. I hate it so much. Just mutating is cool. Much better. Mutt? I mean, really? All right, anyway. Mutating func, create, dev data. Okay, so no arguments, and the body, development, data, exercise, days equal this array, exercise day, date, and exercises is what we're, yeah. So both of those, so in this placeholder, we pass in a instance of the date type with adding time interval, and then that same big ass number, 86, which we know now represents the amount of seconds in a day. So this is how we can look in a relative fashion, relative to the current day, look back one day. And exercises will be oh, there it is. Will be an instance of that very same array. Makes sense. Exercise.exercises 0 dot exercise name. Oh, so for each one at each index, we just want to get the we just want to get each exercise in the array. So 0 index, first index. So let me just copy all of that because that'll be a pain in the ass. I'm gonna break the rule because that's a lot of type in there, guy. Here, C. But we'll still read it just to be sure. So exercise. Wait. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, get rid of that. And this. Okay, so these are doing slightly different things. This one's saying the date is 1 day ago. And this would be 2 days ago. Okay. Oh, but these are just hard-coded. So, okay, that makes sense. They did tell us that. All right, the exercise lists are slightly different to the mockup data and history view, and they're stored in your new exercise and exercise day structures. In chapter 6, observing objects, you'll add a new exercise day item. So I've set the development data to yesterday and the day before yesterday. You create this sample data in a method named createDevData. Aquí. This method changes or mutates exercise days, which is here. And where did it go? So I've set the, or mutates exercise days, so you must mark it with the mutating keyword. And you create this method in an extension because it is not part of the core definition. But there is another reason too coming up soon. Okay, so I like this whole example really because it just calls to me in terms of workflow. I mean, because I love this. I was always a pain in the ass trying to model things and get a way to get back to a certain state for testing or even just for iteration while you're trying to prototype something. So I really like that this is there to make that simple. Okay, so let me pattern for iteration. Is there a way for me to does Excalibur have captioning or anything? Copies. I guess not. I can group them though, right? All right, cool. Okay, now back to it. Now in the history, now in the main history store, create an initializer for history store that calls create dev data. Okay, main history store being just history store. I guess how that's a term we can use to refer to the core thing when it's being extended, maybe. From history store that calls. All right, okay. So this is how we can define a custom initializer if for whatever reason you don't want the compiler to create the implicit member-wise initializer that it just does for you, which just means, like by default, like in this struct, for example, since there's no custom init defined, then implicitly the compiler, if you try to make an instance of like thing equal exercise day, an instance of it, then in the background it's creating an initializer for you that just takes each of the properties that are already there. So it's like defining it for you, but you never see it, and it's never going to be in your source code because it's only generated once you at the build step, basically. Okay, so init if debug. So if the debug mode is turned on in your editor, then whenever we initialize an instance of exercise, or why do I have the hiccups? When we initialize a instance of history store, which is the type that we're nesting this in, if we're in debug mode, we're saying initialize that data inside of our extension down here, or initialize an instance. Yeah, if we're not in debug mode, so if we're building for production, then it wouldn't do that. Which is annoying because there's just a lot of stuff that I've learned or recognized now, like how it happens in code. Because for a long time, like almost 10 years, I was working purely in SQL, just SQL, and then, you know, some light, maybe JavaScript, HTML, CSS, just to represent, you know, data on a page. But other than that, nothing with like general purpose languages. But the app that I was supporting on the SQL side was a Visual Fox Pro program. You probably never even heard of that language, eh? But because I hadn't either, but it existed. That was back when you still had to pay for a license to use a language. Imagine that now. People would lose their woke minds over having to pay for access to a programming language. But anyway, yeah, this kind of stuff, like this initialized data, I had so many SQL scripts, stored procedures that would just automatically get called to erase this shit because I guess it was too big of a deal for somebody to go into the app, someone that knew Fox Pro, and fix it. But we'd always get complaints about that. Like, why is all this fucking data there? It's not my data. You know, new customers come in, they see data already there. It's a bit alarming, yeah. Even if it is sample data, they don't know that. But anyway, just bitching about a time far past. That's 'tis all. All right, you don't want to call create dev data in the release version of your app. So you use a compiler directive to check whether the current build current build configuration is debug, which if I could just click that tiny ass little, I didn't mean to do that, but theirs has, oh, that's over here somewhere, right? It's a different menu. Oops, don't need that. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, this area. Okay, at any rate, note to see this window, click the scheme menu button next to the run destination menu. Oh, and select edit scheme. Oh, that's helpful. Click the scheme button, which was, no, here. Edit scheme. Oh, okay. This is where they are. Run, debug, yeah. Okay. All right. Moving development code into preview content. In fact, you don't want create dev data to ship in your release version at all. Xcode provides a place for development code and data, preview content. Anything you put into this group will not be included in your release version. So handy. Yeah, it is. In the preview content group, over yonder, okay. Create a new Swift file named history store dev data. History store dev data. Dev data. You know what? How can I? Surely I can change it. There should be a way for me to. How do I do that, brother? Every time I open a new Swift file, I am getting auto-populated comments. Where is this behavior configured in Xcode? File template location. File templates are typically stored in, okay, be careful when editing. Checkbox in the new file dialog. Yeah, but, okay, but where is the content of those comments stored? Oh, okay. Can vary. So there's somewhere. Okay, so I guess I'll just do that through the menu. Settings. Ooh, I want both these things. But I don't see where they said, so where the... Can access, modify. Text editing tab, file header comments. Close selection and matching delimiters. Okay, well, it's not there. So just do the reasonable thing and sift through all the settings. Generate output, new issues, no. Running, search, local. Can't be that. Come on. Locations. Well, that's annoying. How about help? Seems like it'd just be a project setting though, because it's not like every Xcode project does this. Let me just check that file. Apps. Wait, but Xcode contents. Is it Command G? I always forget what. Command Shift G. Yeah. Let's see, resource. No, other. View window. Empty file. I think maybe this one. What? Okay, never mind. Mac OS, I hate you. All right, within that directory, whatever, we'll just leave it alone. Just deal with it. And this is the other reason. Wait. So now it has me skipping over. Okay, moving dev code. In fact, you don't want to do that. In preview content, create a. Okay, we did that part. History store dev data. And move the history store extension into it. Okay. Content. Where'd you go? So we're taking this away. What is it? Just straight up X. And whoops. P? Yeah. All right. And this is the other reason create dev data is in an extension. You can store extensions in separate files. This means you never have to scroll through very long files. Yeah, that's great. Truly. So I don't have to hear people bitch about not using the mini map because it's ridiculous anyway. I really don't, whatever, it doesn't matter. Does not matter. Okay, so the history store. And that's still working. All right. What is this warning? Update to recommended settings. Okay. All right. Using history store in history view. So now in history view, let's go there. History, this is it. History view. Delete the date properties and exercise arrays. Let's just shrink you for now. Delete the date properties and exercise arrays. All right. Get rid of that. And date properties. Then add this property. Let history equal our extension we just wrote, history store. Nice. Okay. And it's complaining. History store now encapsulates all the information in the stored properties today, yesterday, and the exercises arrays. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to get rid of. Wait, but it said now in history, delete the date properties and the exercise arrays. History store now encapsulates all the information in the stored properties today, yesterday. Wait, so, but this doesn't have. Oh wait, history store, dev data. I am confused. How can it? It needs to use those, and they're not defined anywhere else. I'm gonna try it. Hold on, let me try this. Yeah, they're used here in my view, so that can't be right. Delete the date properties. Yeah, let's just go look. Chapter 4, history view. Oh, I'm in the starter. Need the final. History view. No, not there. Yeah, history view. History view. Well, no, they meant what they said. Okay, maybe I just gotta not be a worrywart that it doesn't immediately work. Okay, so then pull those out. Then add this property. History view now encapsulates, or history store now encapsulates all the information in the stored properties today, yesterday, and the exercises arrays. Why is it saying that though? Because even at this point, is that because of this type? Maybe this is why. GD. I don't know. I don't know how it knows that. I guess we'll find out. All right. The form currently displays each day in a section. Now that you have an exercise days array, you should loop over it. Replace the form closure with the following. Okay, so let's go back there. Replace the form closure with the following. Form closure, which would be here. If we hit the %sign, we can see where it ends. So, okay, so right there. V. K, 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 K. Form for each. So now hit, okay, that makes more sense. So now we're accessing the new property populated as an instance of history store. So history dot, and then we call into exercise days property in that type, and then a new closure, day being our iterator in separating the argument from the function body. And now for each day, we're saying make a section with a header. God damn it. Why? I really want you to not do that. Section. Just let me type it, brother. God damn. It's trying to wants to do everything. Okay, so let me code too. Shit. I want to do something. Header. Header. Text. Trying to take my damn job, computer. Day, date. Formatted as now the same 3-month and day formats. Generic parameter content cannot be inferred. Well, where did this third parentheses come from? Oh, for the section. Yeah. Okay, so that's the header. And we want... Wait, so this closes. So that's the section. Why do they only have... for each month, day, dot font, headline, close. Okay, there it is. All right. Yeesh. And then another closure for each day exercises. So that's our first argument, and then ID parameter we want to pass in self, and then another closure. So exercise in, and then render our exercise name. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a lot more than that. And that's all. Oh, there's my fourth. Yeah, it's just kind of janky formatting, but What is all this? I don't cancel. I thought Command I was to just quickly format it for me, but apparently not. All right, fuck it, whatever. Instead of today and yesterday, you use day.date, and instead, where's that at? Oh, here. I see. Actually, I got a P again. Sorry, TMI, but oh, BRB. Too much liquid. Okay. There were some muffins out, so I had to grab a bite, obviously. Be be rude not to do so. Okay. So now all right, we just finished refactoring the form. So let's look at if I can grab the goddamn edge. All right, here we go. Looks the same as earlier. Oh, but I guess now we're pulling from a different location because we split out the code into the preview data. Okay. All right. The code you just replaced looped over exercises 1 and exercises 2, which were arrays of string. The ID self argument told for each to use the instance itself as the unique identifier. The exercises array also contains string instances, so you still need to specify this ID value. All right, just in the case where it's strings. If it was always integers, you wouldn't have to do that necessarily. Check out the preview. And that is what we see. Congratulations, your data structure works in your view. Just one finishing touch remains. Dismissing history view. Oh yeah, that was it. Skills you'll learn in this section. Layering views. Layering views with the Z-stack. I'm losing motor function. Layering views with Z-stack. Semicolon. Stack alignment values. Okay, stack alignment values. No clue what that'll be. But Z-stack seems cool because this is basically what this is doing right here. This is well, at least in Swift, this is what a Z-stack would let you do. You know, kind of how you can make a pile, or seemingly make a pile of things, one on top of another. So as they described it, that's when you should reach for a Z-stack if you want some kind of aesthetic like that. Z-stack. If you think of an H-stack as arranging its contents along the device's X axis, and V-stack arranging views along the Y axis, then the Z-stack container view stacks its contents along the Z axis. There's no such thing. Perpendicular to the device screen. Okay. Think of it as a depth stack. Displaying views and its layers. Displaying views and layers. Command click V-stack to embed it in a Z-stack. Then add this code at the top of the Z-stack above the V-stack. All right. If fucking Mac OS will let me grab the goddamn edge. Okay, what do you want me to do? Click V-stack. Okay, control. Click. Embed in Z-stack. Yeah. Z-stack. Okay. And then what? Then add this code at the top of the Z-stack above the V-stack. All right, so right here, button, action parameter, we pass it an empty closure. And let's see, what is button again? Button is a struct. Okay, so this is a computed property image, the system name, aka the image's name, is xmark, which that xmark is, I believe, it's one of those SF symbols. So if we go to the little plus up here to the library, it's one of these, xmark. Yeah, that thingy. So that's what that is. Xmark circle. Did anything happen? No, not yet. Switch the preview to selectable mode to see the outline of the button. Huh? Hold on, let me zoom in here. Or zoom out. Selectable mode. Can't see shit. All right, so where is to see the outline of the button? I don't see it, man. Have to run it again. Why don't I see it? What the hell? I am in, yeah, I'm in selectable mode. Button. Tis odd. Okay. What did I do? Command click VStack to embed it in a ZStack. And I did that. ZStack. And it should wrap the VStack. And it does, because this takes me to the VStack. Yeah. Brother, damn. Alright, well, Xmark. That's what I got. It's lame. Maybe originally we were working on an iPad mini. I don't know why I had to change, but maybe this will work. Oh, is that it right there? That's the button? Just saw it. But, oh, there it is. Okay, wait. There, okay. Why does it look like that? Or it looks like nothing at all, okay. The button is centered in the view because the default stack alignment is center. Okay. Because you added the button code above the VStack in the source code. Above the VStack. Because you added the button code above the VStack in the source code, it is underneath the VStack on screen. So you only see its outline. Okay, well, the button is centered in the view because the stack alignment is center. Because you added the button code above the VStack in the source code, it is underneath the VStack on screen, so you only see its outline. Oh, so whatever is on top should be on the bottom, and you're just, I don't like that. I mean, that's kind of, well, no, maybe I do. I get what they're saying. Okay, so okay. I should put that after. I guess it does make more sense. Never mind, I take back what I said. That's reasonable. That does make sense. So if I move this guy. Oh, whoops. X. And go here. P. Oops, P. There. Haha. Cool. Yeah, so okay, yeah. That does make more sense. So since it is declarative in a top-down fashion and the whole thing is wrapped in a Z-stack, then starting from your first view, which in this case is the V-stack, this would be first in the list, as in first in your pile or at the bottom of your list, and then anything subsequent would be like overlaying it on top. So, all right, that makes good sense. Free up. What's going on? I'm running out of both physical and virtual. Okay. Did it do it? Free up. I mean, on a 16 gig machine, if you're throwing me warnings and I got 6 gigs free, that's way too aggressive, brother. I mean, what do you want me to do? Just gotta use Notepad all the time. All right, so now that that's there, switch the preview to selectable mode to see the outline of the button. Okay, we read that. The arrangement is a little counterintuitive. unless you think of it as placing the first view down on a flat surface, then layering the next view on top of that. Yeah, we think the same, brother. I got it. And so on. So declaring the button as the first view places it on the bottom of the stack. If you want the button in the top layer, declare it last in the Z stack. Yeah. It doesn't matter in this case because you're about to move the button into the top right corner of the view where there's nothing in the V stack to cover it. Yeah. Stack alignment. You can specify an alignment value for any kind of stack, but they all use different alignment values. V stack alignment values are horizontal, leading, center, or trailing. H stack alignment values are, actually, let me, that seems like another thing that I might want to have on hand quickly. Yeah. How to reason about Z stacks in SwiftUI. No, wait, but I missed out on. Yeah, really, I need this one too. Let's see. You come over here, over here, over here. And I kind of wanted, and so on, declaring the. Yeah, just save the whole book. Just read it. Keep rereading it every day. No, not really. Okay, so this, and then this. And yeah, all three, group. And there's one more thing. Make that. It's kind of a weak color. Okay. Xcode again. Where did I leave off? Stack alignment. No. To specify the alignment of a Z stack, you must set both horizontal and vertical alignment values. You can either. Oh, that's cool. You can do that. Yeah. You can either specify separate horizontal and vertical values or a combined value like top trailing. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, if you've ever used Tailwind, these look very similar. Replace Z stack with this. Okay. Z stack. Oh, with the Z stack yet again. Don't give me that long ass fucking bar. It's annoying as Z stack. Alignment. Alignment. Top trailing. Okay. What did that do? Okay, now it's up here. Cool. And doesn't affect them. Own alignment values. Right, you set the Z stack alignment parameter to position the button in the top right corner of the view. Other views in the Z stack have their own alignment values, so the Z stack alignment value doesn't affect them. Top right corner. Other views in the Z stack have their own alignment values, so the Z stack alignment value doesn't affect them. Uh, where though? The button is now visible, but it's small. No. Where did it say that? Other views in the Z stack have their own alignment values, so that it doesn't. Oh, right, the whole inheritance thing. So if anything beneath didn't have an alignment value, it would inherit that, but since they do, then it'll take the child's alignment instead. I guess it's just, it must be a default, so you don't have to define it, but it is there for these types. I assume, because I don't see any modifiers for, or maybe that's what that is. I don't know, but we'll take their word for it. So the button is now visible, but it's small and a little too close to the corner edges. Add these modifiers to the button to adjust its size and position. Add these modifiers to the button. Okay, to the button. Oops. Font. Title. Padding. Trailing. Wait, I missed that. So what was it before? Oh, okay. What a difference just a little bit can make. All right, check out the preview. That's what we got. You are finished with history view for now. Next up, welcome view. Actually, next up will be tomorrow, because we're gonna call it for today, folks. I'd like to thank you for coming out, checking me out. Please drop a follow on whatever platform you happen to be watching on. And also, if I can convince you to go follow me on X, because hashtag no censorship, right? Support the movement. Now, other than that, also, if you want to hang out some more, or if you like Halo, or sweaty competitive stuff, and oily nerds, check out my other stream, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Halo stream, straight ranked. We get busy. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I think I'm just going to switch it and just call it noon now, because yeah, the 11 a.m. thing is not working. So I'm going to change that on my Twitch and wherever else I can list the schedule. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm going to start the Swift stream, subsequent Swift streams